Hey friends, Lisa Salvatore here with the monthly check-in, mid-month check-in. First off, yesterday, January 20th, the sun moved into the air sign of Aquarius after having been in the earth sign of Capricorn since December 20th, 21st. Now we have shifted under the air element, so we've now gone from earth to air. As the sun is in Aquarius for the next 30 days or so, roughly, the focus, the solar focus, the focus of the universe, the focus of the collective shifts over to air-based matters. It's the way that we think, it's the way that we do things, it's the way that we approach the future and moving forward in a practical and logical and intellectual manner. Now, having said that, we are also under quite a bit of Aquarian energy at the moment. Both Saturn and Jupiter are in Aquarius. Venus will enter Aquarius officially on February 8th, but she's not quite there yet. Mercury is now in Aquarius. So we've got some Aquarian energy. We're definitely seeing, I feel, a little bit more of like a inward slope where people are kind of tending to their own gardens right now, let's just say. However, there still is a lot of irritation present and a lot of intense energy. So I just quickly want to mention, back on January 6th, Mars shifted from Aries into Taurus. And that was a big deal because Mars typically spends about 6 to 8 weeks in one sign. But last year, because of the retrograde motion and everything else that was going on, Mars actually spent an inordinate amount of time in its home sign of Aries, where it is at its most powerful and where the Martian energy is the strongest, which in a lot of ways could be really good. But then in a lot of ways, because Mars also represents, anger and will and force and drive and irritation, could also be detrimental in some capacity. So Mars moved into Aries last June, and then it remained there, and then until September, and then Mars actually went retrograde in Aries until November, and then back into Aries direct, and then officially moved into Taurus on January the 6th. And I don't think I need to remind anybody what happened on that particular day, as Mars shifted signs and went from the fiery, cardinal, motivated warrior of Aries and shifted into the more earth-based, practical, methodical, determined, and still action-orientated Taurus. So there is still this element of very strong Martian energy present. Mars is action, Mars is energy. And so with Taurus versus with Aries, when Mars is with Aries, Mars just acts. Mars is impulsive in Aries because that's its natural placement, and it's fire and it's cardinal. So it likes to get things going and to move and charge. Moving into Taurus, Taurus is ruled by the bull. The bull does charge, okay? But not until provoked. So think about the bull. So you see the matador holds the red cloth, and that red cloth is what provokes the bull. The bull typically doesn't charge until the matador lifts that red cloth, and then all of a sudden it's out the gates, the bull goes. Think about Mars in Taurus for the next 6 weeks roughly to be of that nature. So even though it seems like things may be a little bit less ramped up right now, there's still a heat simmering beneath the surface with Mars and Taurus, and there is still that irritation present, and it could pop off with the proper provocation, let's just say. So let's not forget that we are still under some intense energy. Mars is also doing a lot of other different things with the planets that's also lending to this element of anger, feistiness, the will to move and act and drive and push forward, but it's getting blockages from Saturn, Uranus, and Jupiter wants to expand, but it's a square. So let's just talk real quick about that. So we've got, I wrote this down so I don't get the dates wrong. Mars squared Saturn back on the 13th, which was frustration because Mars wants to move forward, Saturn likes to put the brakes on, and there could be something of the nature of, let's do this, let's go, but nope, can't, there's some roadblocks. So there's irritation there. Then Mars actually squared Uranus yesterday, January the 20th. And that's an energy that's going to be felt throughout the year because at 3 different points through 2021, Mars and Uranus did not square, they conjuncted. So even more powerful, both in Taurus, Mars and Uranus conjuncted yesterday the 20th to be exact. They will do so again in June, I believe, and then again in December. So we're going to be under that energy. And remember, energy doesn't just come in and then just because the transit kind of passes us by, it doesn't just go away. That energy is long lasting and it is felt throughout the year. We watch it play out just like last year when we started the year off in 2020 in January with the Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto. But actually, I think January was just Saturn and Pluto. But when those aspects began, that was when we began the height of the pandemic. And then we watched that play out all through 2020. And it still continues to play out into 2021. So yes, at some point the tension breaks and things become resolved. But it is an energy that doesn't just go. And we sometimes don't even see how it will manifest and play out until a little bit after. So with Mars and Uranus conjuncting in Taurus, it's like, Uranus does not like to be in Taurus, because Taurus is very conscious of its possessions and its values and what it owns and what it likes. And it clings, it hangs on to that. It hangs on to its value systems, and it's not so easy to change that particular sign. But Mars wants to move, and Uranus wants to make change, and Taurus is like, nope, don't want to. I want to hang on to this. But guess what? That's not the way the world works, right? So both personally and collectively, we'll see that play out in some form or manner, which for everyone will be different on the personal level. But yet there is still that element of surprise that's present because of the Uranus aspects. So just when you think things are going to go one way, boom, detour. And with Uranus, it's all about breaking the conventional norm, breaking the tension. And it doesn't necessarily matter how it happens, because the key point of Uranus is that once the dust settles, how will it be? It will be different, that's for sure. There will be change. So when we've got this present energy, just know that anything goes. It's like a wild card. And that's often a really good thing, because when you're in a rut and you can't figure something out, Uranian energy could be brilliant because it can just come in and give you a completely different way of doing things, and it will force it upon you. And in the moment, it's like, oh, how am I going to deal with this? But then when the dust settles, you realize that it was for the best and it needed to happen. A lot of astrologers and a lot of other people think that the inner planets cause the most havoc or the most change, inner meaning, Mercury, Venus, Mars. And yeah, they are maybe felt stronger physically, let's just say, because, or more in your face, because they are closer planets to us. They're the inner planets. But the outer planets, which are Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto, they're slower. And their impact is longer lasting and over a longer span of time. So with Uranus, you don't always see it coming. It just kind of, it's that lightning bolt that comes in and shifts everything around upside down and on its head, and then leaves because the tension has been broken and the job is done and that lightning strike has happened, and now things are different. That's Uranian energy. With Pluto, it's slower. It's under the surface. It's a pulse. You don't always see it, but you feel it, but it's deep and it's profound and it takes a longer time. And it will eventually just kind of dissolve whatever isn't working to bring it back up and more alive in a higher manner. It takes a longer time, and it definitely is a painful process sometimes, but it's all about regeneration. Neptune can be beautiful and give us the dream, but it can also be cloudy and delusional and give us a nightmare that started off as a dream. So you see, the outer planets kind of kick up a different energy and is slower and long lasting. In my opinion, the outer planets are the ones that really do make those changes long term. And so right now, why am I saying this? Because Uranus is so present. The energy of Uranus, I should say, because Uranus is always present. But the energy of it is so present all of 2021 and into 2022, because Saturn is in Aquarius, has been since December. And Uranus is in Taurus and will be until 2026. And Aquarius and Taurus are square, which means it's a frictional aspect. Both are fixed signs, meaning rooted to their position, dig their heels in. They like to keep things the status quo, the way they think and feel they should be, right? Aquarius hangs on to the ideas. Taurus hangs on to the physical. So when you've got that square aspect all year long, and they're going to go back and forth and hit points and degrees where it really will be ramped up. But the energy is so present of that square of Saturn and Uranus. So again, what does Saturn do? Saturn wants to give us rules to live within and without. It wants to give us boundaries and structure. And, it's about what is right and good and true and karmically correct, right? That's Saturn. Tradition, all of that. Uranus is the unconventional. It doesn't matter with Uranus because it just wants what it wants and it does what it needs to do to get it. And Saturn, that's not a Saturn energy. So when you've got these two at odds with each other all year long, it's a friction. I feel personally it's going to be ultimately a beautiful thing for everybody, personally and collectively, because it will force changes that need to be made that have been long standing in the background. Things haven't been right, okay? Things have not been right and things need to shift. And sometimes it does take that Uranian lightning bolt to shift things. So now that I went on that whole metaphorical planetary rant, I hope that that made sense. But, you know, it's like a clearing of the air could happen in your personal life. We're going to see it happen collectively. Lots is going on right now. And I always keep saying, just to make sure that you are within your own truth and taking care of yourself and your inner world and what you need and what you want. And like the sign of Taurus, your values, your possessions, what you own, what you value, who you value. Taking care of your own home, right? Take care of your own home, literally, figuratively. And spiritually. And from there, you know, whatever happens on the outside, again, we do not control that. We cannot control that as much as we may often want to. But again, just know that the energy is wild right now, guys. You know, twists and turns are likely, things shifting and shaking and changing and rumbling, clearing of the air, tension being reduced. And then on the 22nd, which is tomorrow, I think, because today's the 21st. Tomorrow's the 22nd, Mars will go on and square Jupiter. So this could actually feel like a little bit of a relief point because, you know, Jupiter wants to grow and expand everything, and Mars likes to act. So that could be positive, even though it's a square. It could be met with some friction. This could be for you in your personal life in some area. This could happen out on the world scale, but yet there could be some aha moment or a parting of the clouds with the sunshine peeking through. But it doesn't mean we're out of the woods yet. And when I'm saying all of these things, guys, this is not just about, I'm not talking about the world. That's a whole nother issue. I'm talking more about personal, right? Think about what's going on with you. That's the important thing. That's what's going to carry you through this next little while. I think that's really all I wanted to talk about. You know, this, just the sun in Aquarius. Happy birthday, Aquarius. I did pull a card from my Colette Baron Reed postcards from Spirit because I thought it would be nice to get a message versus the typical tarot, right? The simple yet powerful law of cause and effect means everything is in relationship. Every action on earth has a consequence, and even in the spirit world, there is a consequence for every action taken on your behalf. Right now, you're facing conditions that were set in motion by past decisions. Consequences are coming into being in your favor. They will remind you that making good choices and listening to your intuition pay off. If some things that are a little off and uncertain, know that whatever you are facing, you can step beyond it just by using your imagination and acting on that instead of reacting to what is being presented. Everything you think and do has far-reaching reverberations in the web of life. Move to higher ground and have faith that what goes around comes around. The universe is always self-correcting anyway. Isn't that amazing? So, I didn't read that, by the way, until just now. Think about this. We've got a lot going on right now. You know, I go on Facebook to post for work or whatnot. I typically go right off, but you can't help but see certain things in your newsfeed. And I'm always shocked at how many people will literally sit there and continuously get into battles and fights, verbal, about their political standpoints, and they just continue to do it and they keep hammering it. And it's like, what is the point? We know where you stand. We get it. You're posting it every freaking 5 minutes. I snooze people because I just don't want to deal with it. But my point is, it's like, it doesn't matter. You can say whatever you want right now. The bottom line is things are going according to a plan. Okay, think about this. Universal order, cause and effect, consequence, karma. Saturn, by the way, is the lord of karma, the planet of karma. What goes around comes around. Now, on the personal level, that's also very true. So again, tend to your own world right now. Try not to worry so much about what goes on outside. Again, I'm going to stress the fact that there's a lot of wild energy present and a lot of anger, and people are pissed off, and you never know when someone's going to snap. And you do not want to be the matador in this situation, okay? Sending that bull off to charge. So just watch yourself, watch your words, you know, watch how you're relating to people, watch what you're saying. Really not worth it because you're not going to switch people over to your viewpoint. And I'm not just talking about political, I'm talking about in every which way. We all have our own way of viewing things and perceiving, and it's going to be different than the next person. And when you find like-minded souls, kindred souls, spirits, it's cool. But that's not always the case. So honoring each other's opinion without getting into these pissing matches, excuse my language, is the way to go right now. Take really good care of yourselves, guys. And just know, I feel, amongst all of this, there's going to be a lot of good that comes out of situations in 2021. Take really good care of yourselves, guys. My links are below, lisasalvatore.com, and I will talk to you all real soon. Bye.